Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Bachelor in Paradise resumed on Monday with an entirely new concept. If you thought the beach looked different, it did. The show was filmed in Costa Rica rather than Mexico. The cameras were also upgraded, giving the footage a slick new appearance. But supporters despise everything about it. Bachelor in Paradise's first 9 seasons were filmed in Mexico. The first season was shot at Tulum, Mexico, before shifting to the Playa Resort in Sayulita, Mexico, for seasons 2 to 9. However, season 10 was shot in Costa Rica. Scott Teddy, who took over as showrunner for Bachelor in Paradise and the forthcoming Bachelor season, spoke with Entertainment Weekly about the shift. He stated that the transfer was already in the works when he took control. The property in Mexico where the show was previously filmed was supposedly sold, and the new owners did not want to renew the deal with ABC. The Azura Beach Resort is a 4-star resort in Costa Rica where season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise was shot in June. That's right in the heart of monsoon season, as competitors and viewers discovered when Lexi Young and Justin Glaze's date was cancelled during the season opener due to the storm. However, despite the rain, the new digs provide the contender with better lodgings than the resort in Mexico. In Mexico, the candidates slept in bunk beds. However, in Costa Rica, they live in private rooms with one roommate. To counteract the heat, each accommodation has air conditioning and access to a swim-up bar. Bachelor in Paradise resumed on Monday with an entirely new concept, a shiny new aesthetic, and a shift that Bachelor Nation fans never saw coming. For the first time in its decade-long history, the show had abandoned the familiar sun-soaked shores of Mexico in favor of a tropical resort in Costa Rica. Though some may have welcomed the change, the overwhelming reaction from longtime viewers was one of confusion and outright frustration. Gone was the rustic charm of Playa Escondida in Sayulita, Mexico, a location that had become almost as iconic as the franchise itself. Season after season, viewers had grown accustomed to the familiar shots of the wooden stairs leading down to the beach, the open-air palapa bar where couples whispered sweet nothings or broke each other's hearts, and the endless sunsets framed by swaying palm trees. Now, everything was glossier. The sand looked whiter, the drinks looked colder, the pool shimmered with a filter-perfect clarity, and every cast member looked like they had stepped out of a magazine shoot rather than reality television. The show's new location, the Azura Beach Resort in Guanacaste, Costa Rica, was undeniably beautiful, but perhaps too beautiful. Many fans took to social media to say the franchise had lost its soul. Where was the drama? The chaos? The charm of seeing a crab scuttle across a contestant's bed? Instead, there were sleek villas with stone countertops, cocktail bars with curated mixology menus, and private rooms with air conditioning. Yes, air conditioning. Long gone were the days of cast members bonding over a shared struggle with the oppressive Mexican heat or sleepless nights in creaky bunk beds. Now, they had swim-up rooms and chilled towels. The change didn't go unnoticed by the contestants either. From the moment they stepped foot onto the Costa Rican property, many of them exchanged wide-eyed glances, not just at the scenery but at each other. It was clear that this season, everything was going to feel different. And that shift, while exciting in theory, didn't sit well with everyone. Justin Glaze, a returning favorite, summed it up best during his first confessional. "It's like Paradise went corporate," he said, half laughing, half shrugging. Justin wasn't wrong. The upgraded cameras added a cinematic layer to the footage, making everything feel curated and almost too perfect. Instead of feeling like reality TV, it now felt like a romantic drama series with impeccably dressed actors. But reality hit hard and fast during the first episode when a tropical storm swept through the resort and canceled Justin's planned date with Lexi Young. The cancellation was met with frustration from fans who had been waiting eagerly to see whether the two would hit it off romantically. Instead, what they got were scenes of the cast huddled indoors, their damp hair clinging to their faces as production paused filming. For all the complaints, though, the production team had their reasons. Scott Teddy, the new showrunner who had stepped in after several seasons behind the scenes of other reality hits, explained the change in an interview with Entertainment Weekly. According to Teddy, the decision to move was finalized before his appointment. "The property in Mexico where we shot for years was sold," he said. "The new owners didn't want to renew the contract. We were forced to look elsewhere. Costa Rica gave us the infrastructure we needed, and Azura had everything we were looking for: beauty, privacy, amenities." Still, fans weren't buying it. On Reddit and X, formerly Twitter, comments flooded in during and after the premiere. "It looks like they're filming a dating app commercial," one fan wrote. "I miss the jonkiness of Paradise," said another. The sentiment was clear: Bachelor Nation didn't want slick, they wanted drama, discomfort, and the kind of chaos that made Paradise memorable. Despite the backlash, some aspects of the new format did work in the show's favor. The improved accommodations allowed contestants to feel more rested and less irritable, which led to deeper conversations, though arguably fewer outbursts. The swim-up bar, now affectionately dubbed the Love Lagoon by the cast, became a favorite hangout spot. Contestants were seen lounging in the water with their drinks, having surprisingly intimate conversations without the interruptions that once came from the cramped bunk-style living quarters. Among the standout features of the new setting was the private two-person rooms. Each contestant was assigned a roommate, which created a slightly different dynamic than in past seasons. In Mexico, the lack of privacy often escalated tensions. Here, the pairings encouraged new kinds of bonding. Bailey Brown, paired with Greer Blitzer, described it as having a sleepaway camp bestie. The two were often shown laughing late into the night, whispering about who gave them butterflies and who gave them the ick. Still, with comfort came a cost. The producers began to worry that the lowered discomfort levels would also lower the stakes. So they introduced a new twist midweek: Paradise Challenges. These games, often messy and competitive, aimed to stir up the pot. In one early challenge, contestants had to participate in a kissing relay, blinded and judged only on technique. Another involved reciting love poems while sitting in a dunk tank, where rejected poems were met with a swift splash into the pool. While these antics felt a little too Love Island for some Bachelor purists, others welcomed the energy boost. As the season progressed, it became clear that the Costa Rica experiment was, for better or worse, redefining what Bachelor in Paradise was meant to be. It was no longer just about the location. It was about the relationships, romantic and otherwise, that formed under the spotlight of cameras and pressure. But without the rawness of previous seasons, the relationships themselves came under scrutiny. Were they genuine, or simply well-rehearsed performances in front of high-definition lenses? One of the most talked-about storylines that season was the brewing tension between Rachel Recchia and a newcomer named Noah Marks, a later rival from The Bachelorette Canada. Rachel, fresh off a tumultuous engagement, had come to Paradise with a mission: to reclaim her narrative and find real love.